what's one thing about faith or Christianity that's been the hardest for you to understand or accept?
So the hardest thing for me to understand or accept, I think a lot of people struggle with this, is forgiveness. Like the fact that God can forgive me for the way that I lived before Him and the way that I live even now. I still fall. So just understanding that God still loves me through everything. I mean, it's just hard for me to grasp sometimes, but I mean, I love Him unconditionally for that.
Because I mess up so much every day, and I'm like, yo, why do I get forgiveness and why do I get grace for my sins? But it's not for us to understand. Sometimes we have to just pray, Lord, help me to be better with understanding what I don't understand, because He knows it anyway.
Why God does some of the things that He does. That's the hardest thing for me to accept. Like, He took my father away from me, my grandparents away from me, so it's hard to accept that. But I mean, I understand everything happens for a reason, but like coping with that is the hardest thing, like, for me to accept.
I would say it's been a little hard just walking by faith, because honestly, we all want to like plan our lives out and we see how our lives want to go, but honestly, if it's not God's will, how do we know if that's going to be the best plan for us? And so yeah, the past year I've had to constantly walk by faith and not by sight. And it's been a wild ride, but honestly, it's the best thing I've ever done. Just putting my trust and faith in God and knowing that He's going to get me to meet the people I need to meet and in the rooms I need to be in.
Well, the hardest thing really to accept is just falling under that temptation of sin and not letting sin overcome me. Just being strong and keeping my belief with God it's really hard at times, but I just got to sit down and pray and just speak with Him before I fall under the temptation of sin.
I think maybe I would say to understand would probably be conviction, because I would definitely say I have not been a saint all my life, and there was definitely times where I was very loudly sinning and I wasn't ashamed of it. And then conviction hit me like really, really hard. And I was like, why do I feel ashamed of what I'm doing? I've been doing it so long. Why do I feel like I want to hide it now? Why do I want to stop doing it when I've been doing it this long? But yeah, conviction definitely hit me, and it took me a minute to understand why it felt that way, but I definitely understand it now.
I think it's probably been like those small things that we don't realize we should stop doing. And it's not really because that it's been hard to accept, but knowing what acceptance of God's word truly looks like, that's kind of what it's been. That's kind of what it's been for a minute. It's like making sure that I remember to do what I'm supposed to do when God tells me to do it.
I'm not going to say why the bad things happen, because it's always a reason for it. But definitely, why does it last so long if it is bad?